This is my report on Reunion Coffee Roasters. They are a certified B Corporation and they are a Canadian company. Why Reunion Coffee Roasters? I chose Reunion Coffee Roasters because they have one of the highest B rating scores of Canadian roasting companies. There are many companies that had an 80 or an 80.2, 0.3, 0.4, but to me, that just says that they're just above that 80 mark so that they can slap that B Corporation certification on their website and look the part, but may not actually really mean it. Um, Reunion Coffee Roasters had a score of 84.5, which is one of the highest I could find. And to me, it was very obvious that they truly care about the environment and implementing sustainable measures. They all One truth to that is because they run out of one of the world's largest renewable energy roasting facilities in Canada. And in the coffee roasting industry, that's kind of unheard of. RCR is a family-owned roasting company with giving back to the environment and sustainability at the top of their mind. They prioritize sustainability in the environment by creating long-lasting, meaningful relationships with farmers and producers and continually adapt to make their practices more sustainable. So yeah, a little bit about the company. They focus on specialty coffee. They are in the specialty coffee industry and look for advancements in the Canadian coffee industry through traveling to origin countries and learning about every type of bean. Benefits to stakeholders' environment. One of RCR's slogans is sustainable from seed to cup, and it's no question why. Because firstly, they're headquartered in a large renewable roastery in Ontario. This roastery firm is completely on renewable energy. From consumers to employers, these stakeholders can be sure they're not just in it for the coffee. This company has made its objectives clear that sustainability and long-term value creation through coffee and beans are its main focus. This photo down here, the white gentleman with the hat on is the president of Reunion Coffee Roasters. His name's Adam. He constantly travels to all these countries like Chile, Bolivia, Brazil, where he learns about every process the beans go through and learns about the communities whose hands touch these beans. His goal is to get Reunion Coffee Roasters more involved along every step of the way and not just the final cup of coffee. The environmental scan. So RCR provides the eco-conscious consumer the opportunity to buy coffee from a sustainable practice. Sustainable for many reasons. One, from the renewable energy firm, and how they create long-lasting and sound relationships with farmers and producers. They've curated by constantly visiting these countries and so on. Sustainable by trying to be more involved along every step of the way. And using this to market to consumers has really attracted more customers. Economic. Selling coffee beans like RCR does in large bags is significantly cheaper than buying your average $6 coffee at your cafe. Coffee is one of the most consumed beverages worldwide, next to water and tea. So it's a pretty recession-proof item. Technological. Two ways technology can and are affecting this company. One way is through how the consumers interact with the website and purchase their beans. Another way is through technological advancements in roasting. Competitive. Other competitors are going to push RCR to be better through innovations that can make roasteries more efficient and innovative. Regulatory. Governments can put regulations in place that could change the way RCR has to operate. Like if they put regulations that say less one-use plastics, even though RCR doesn't really use one-use plastics. There could be other ways that regulatory factors come into play, like tax breaks for companies who are trying to mitigate climate change or who are a little bit more careful towards the environment. So here's a little excerpt I got from an article that I was reading. So Lombardo C 2019 explained, specialty grocers have always been a good fit for us, as their clientele is typically looking for premium product and sees the value in our product quality, sustainability initiatives, and our traceability back to the farmer level. And this was said by the Director of Sales and Marketing for Reunion Coffee Roasters. So as it says here, traceability back to the farmer level. I spoke on that. Yeah, the consumers really care, how much the company themselves care about being sustainable and caring for the environment and, even the relationships that they have with the farmers. The front page of their website is marketing their sustainable packaging. They also talk about their impact on trees through all the planting they do and the overall environment. They also show all their certifications, which are all related to helping the environment, including their B Corp. The social factor also ties into community, and RCR is doing great things with the roasting community, from constant visits to the places where the beans are made and prepared, and long-lasting relationships with the farmers. These things do not go unnoticed to the consumer, especially when they market it so well. So more and more consumers are realizing the importance of these sustainable measures and being more eco-conscious. Not only do people want to be more eco-conscious for themselves, but they want to be seen by others being eco-conscious. There's almost a position of status, and this plays a huge role when consumers buy things, which we'll get into later. Even when it comes down to their coffee. And yeah, Reunion Coffee roasters know this very well. Now more than ever, technology plays a huge role in all businesses. And if you're not using it properly, I really don't believe you're giving your company a fighting chance. So here's a little bit on the technological factor. Reunion Coffee Roasters have a great website, which is very user-friendly. They use technology such as Shopify to purchase things from their store, which is a safe third-party way to pay. This Shopify also ships anywhere in the world, foreign or domestic, which is a great way to utilize shipping and whatnot, so that RCR can get their beans worldwide. RCR is also utilizing social media to market their products as well and get their brand name more recognized. They have an account with thousands of followers, and they post roughly 4 times a month. I think RCR is underestimating the power of social media and should be putting more focus into the social accounts. If they get up their posts to a couple times a week instead of once, they could potentially see a huge spike in engagement. Almost everyone has a social media account, and most people scroll for hours a day, so posting on there is like free marketing. Consumer behavior. Sociocultural and psychological influences are a major factor when a consumer buys something. For example, values and beliefs can weigh in on one's buying decision. And someone who believes in no animal cruelty might not buy beef and will instead buy other sources of protein. Perception is another factor that can weigh on one's buying decision. If someone wants to be seen as maybe upper class and trying to be a little more flashy, they might buy an Audi instead of a Honda. These are just some examples of how socioculture and psychological influences can factor a consumer's buying decision. And similarly, these factors can even weigh on buying coffee. So the two that I decided to focus on were value and perception. In my eyes, these are the two biggest influences on consumers for this specific product. The more people value the environment and sustainable measures, the more they are going to be drawn to RCR coffee beans. The more aligned consumers and RCR values are, the better the company will do and the happier the customers will be. Consumers are going to see things like their headquarters is run out of a renewable energy roastery, and they use sustainable packaging and their long-lasting relationships with the farmers and producers of beans and agree with these values. This will influence the consumer's decision to buy their coffee big time. Perception is another factor. Would people rather be a part of the problem or a part of the solution? Most people would say a part of the solution. Being part of companies or buying products from companies like RCR is a step in the right direction. Having a cup of RCR coffee in your hand can say things about you, such as I enjoy coffee, but it can also say things like how I care about the environment. I chose this cup of coffee because I am eco-conscious and know RCR is a sustainable company that also cares about the environment. I have a statistic here. Chu Y 2012 found in the United States, 54% of the population drink coffee daily, 63% drink at least once per month, 77% at least once per year, and then 22% of the population say they do not drink coffee ever. What this stat does not include is how many drink more than 1 cup per day. To me, this skews the stat, as you know, many people who drink coffee drink multiple cups per day, including myself. Luckily for RCR, the coffee consumption market is large. There's no shortage of coffee drinkers. To analyze their target market, I will break it down by section. So geographic. There's no limitation other than themselves when it comes to where RCR coffee beans can be bought. And because they use Shopify, luckily enough, they can ship it anywhere in the world. However, predominantly through their target market will be in Canada and US, due to that is where they are headquartered and where their roasteries are. So that's where most of their marketing is going to be focused. Demographic. I do not think income really matters too much when it comes to buying RCR beans, because buying beans in bags like RCR sells them is very cheap when you look at it per coffee. I believe anyone who drinks coffee, no matter their age, could be in RCR's target market. Lastly, generational cohorts could definitely come into consideration, as different generations seem to be more eco-conscious than others. So RCR's market could lean more towards Generation Z or Gen Y compared to Gen X, as Gen Z is known to care more about the environment than others. Psychographic. When people are the same age, gender, and in the same income bracket, they do not always like the same things. Psychographic is a factor that can differentiate. For example, with RCR, if you have two males aged 50, one is a manager at a financial firm and makes a very healthy salary, and the other male is a manager of a carbon air capture company, which is a company that mitigates climate change and also makes a very healthy salary, it's more likely that the latter male buys RCR beans because he may value the environment more so than the first male. Behavioral. I think consumers of RCR beans are loyal because RCR customers value eco-conscious thinkers and sustainable measures, just like RCR the company, as they are loyal to the farmers and producers of their beans. Benefit segmentation is also a big influence for their target market. Consumers of RCR beans want to know that they are part of a company that is giving back to the environment like RCR is. So including all these factors, RCR's target market is going to be living in Canada, part of Generation Z or X, and have values aligned with the environment. And this person is most likely to be a loyal customer. Conclusion. Reunion Coffee Reunion Coffee Roastery is a great family-owned coffee roastery with emphasis on giving back to the environment and implementing sustainable measures. They market this well to consumers through the use of their website and all their certifications they have earned. After doing the environmental scan, it's clear the social factor is the biggest factor that they use in terms of really leaning into the idea of being eco-friendly through things like sustainable packaging and planting trees and the relationships they have kept with farmers. One weakness I think RCR could work on is social media presence, especially because of their target market being Generation Z and Y. Social media could play a much bigger role. Simply posting a couple times a week, even if it's just a picture of some beans, the power of social media cannot be overlooked. It could draw so many more customers to click on their profile and look at their website and potentially even buy more beans. Social media is a proven marketing technique. If RCR hired a social media consultant to run their account as a full-time commitment, I would say it would be worth it in the long run. Because not only could they post about their coffee beans and roastery, but they could post about the things they are doing for the environment. Like whenever they go tree planting, they could post that. Whenever they go to visit foreign countries that produce beans, or when they visit the farmers that grow their beans, which is what the consumers already love anyway. More and more people would fall in love with RCR stories and what they're doing. No AI tool was used to assist in this assignment in any way. These are all my references, and that is all. Thank you.